humanity. Let's see, hold on. There we go. Uh, change the page here. Their humanity is the most valuable thing in the world. He said, give me an hour, give me a half hour. That's what matters. And he reinforced the idea of people just showing up with labor and packing and helping with the shipping. Also joining the conversation was Waylon Richards, who heads the Organization for Strategic Development in Jamaica. It's called OSDJ. And strategic is the key word in our name, he said. We respond now, but we're also thinking 10 years ahead. We're thinking, what will the needs be when the headlines fade? So he described an organization with a long-term vision, meaning that youth and community development, healthcare infrastructure, social resilience were key factors. Now, with Melissa having destroyed or damaged hospitals, roads, and utility structures, that strategic horizon matters. He cited, for example, the damage reported at the Black River Hospital and the hundreds of thousands left without electricity. He announced that the OSDJ's upcoming gala, which was held last week on November 15th, under the theme Strengthening the Bond Between Minnesota and Jamaica, was launching a campaign titled A Million Friends for Jamaica. And the concept was that they were trying to invite a million people, a million friends of Jamaica, to, over the next 5 years, donate a minimum of $10 annually to a fund rebuilding efforts in Jamaica. And two immediate flagship projects, he said, included the Davison Outreach Center and a new ward for the Bustamante Hospital for Children in Jamaica. So good reports. Go to Insight News and read more about that. Again, we appreciate what we were able to do here at Insight News, and we invite you to be supportive of that as well. One of my colleagues has joined me. I was waiting for him, and I see he's in the studio now. Let me bring him on board. I'm going to add him to the stage here. Wilfred Harris is here. Brother Wilfred, how you doing, man?
Oh, Al, I'm doing so well.
Okay, well, good to see you. Always great to hear your voice.
It's always great hearing yours too, Al.
You've got the perfect radio voice, and we think that's just amazing. I think that for the first part of the show, my producer jumped on. We were not live streaming to our social media platform, so we've done around 20 minutes of the show just on the radio, which is great because the radio is powerful. But now we've added to the radio our Facebook channel, our LinkedIn channel, and our YouTube channels and our Twitter channel. So if you are connecting with us on any of those channels, we thank you and we invite you to join this conversation. And I started off, Wilfred, by saying that you and another colleague would be joining the show to talk about the African community, the African diaspora, and how we have to build community wherever we are. You're doing wonderful things with the West African and Liberian community, and you've created a new organization called Safeguard Minnesota. Let me take a minute to have you introduce Safeguard Minnesota, the vision and the mission. So go ahead, Wilfred.
Thank you so much. May God richly bless you, my brother. Yes, I just reinvented myself. I've been around for almost 3 decades, like the former mayor of Brooklyn Center said at my lunch. And what happened, we have to come together and we have to do things in a way that rising tides will raise all boats. We cannot fly solo anymore. So we started Safeguard Minnesota. Basically, we deal with safety and equity issues. No matter where you are, those are the two major things that tend to shape the destiny of what we want to do. Safety and equity. So that's what we are about, doing everything humanly possible to make sure that our people are safe and they enjoy equitable situations. So that's what we are about. So.
I'm always curious, and I love to have stories about how people came to Minnesota. And how
Well,
did you come to Minnesota, Wilford? And give me your
well,
background.
well. Remember now, we were literally the first group to come to Minnesota. Literally, I mean, when you talk about Africans,
Mhm.
yes. What happened? Don Woody had a contract with the major iron ore company in Liberia, Lamco, and were training their technical team here. So we started coming to Minnesota. Well, that's one way. The second way, Liberia is, a Christian country. In fact, the first capital city was called Christopolis, but they changed it to Monrovia after fifth President James Monroe, because he was able to get some money to give to the ACS to send, free black men back to Africa. So what happened? We used to listen to Billy Grahams. You remember Billy Grahams? You used to
Sure.
always end by saying, "This is Billy Graham from Minneapolis, Minnesota." So I used to ask my dad,
Before you go on, when I first went to Jamaica up in the
uh,
country, where
mm,
my family is from, I told the
trust me, I
people
know that. You
I
always used
live
to leave me
in
and go,
Minneapolis. They said, "Oh, Minneapolis, Minnesotas, right?"
yeah,
That's how they
yeah,
refer to it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
yes. So basically, he used to come and say, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Mm,
So then I would ask my dad, I said, Dad, we live in a place called Minneapolis, Minnesota. But then all of a sudden, it so happened that we decided, when the Civil War came, that's when you had a mass exodus of people from Nigeria. It was like, the land of liberty. Yeah, people came from all over Africa. That was the first independent republic. So we gave the light to Africa. So they came over, and everybody came. No, from Jamaica, from just name it, they came. Yes, we were like the melting pot. When I met Jimmy Cliff, yeah, in Minnesota, he told me, he said,
mhm.
"Oh, you from Liberia? That's the last from the back." Jimmy left. So that's why we are here. But I told my friend Senator Paul West when he asked me the same story. And I said, Senator, you don't realize something. I said, when you white people want to go for vacation, you go to warm places. So we black people want to come on vacation or go on vacation, we go to cold places. So that's why we are here in Minnesota. And Paul Wellstone never forgave me for that question, that answer I gave him. Yeah. So that's what happened. So we are here doing everything humanly possible to
Mhm.
work together. And we have worked together. I cannot forget Lucille Kitchen.
Mm.
I'll forget about the food this time. Let's talk about the idea of coming together and just, my English teacher used to say, just elucidating, propounding. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for keeping the touch burning, because I mean, well, when I listen to you, it's like the voice never tarnish. The voice is there. And you remember you left me and you went to Jamaica when they had this riot in Minneapolis. And the first song I played was Get Up, Stand Up, Get Up for Your Right. Don't give up the fight. And he said, and the next one, I shot the sheriff. I didn't shoot the deputy. He told me, one guy said, that African you got out there, man, he had this place going. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So how is our brother, man? Your brother, how is he doing?
He's doing well. Wayne is still playing music and performing all around the area, doing a great job and
Yeah,
loving it.
please
Yeah.
tell him hello, man. Your wife. And you have what? Two daughters, right? Or
Three,
one?
four,
Oh,
four
three.
daughters. Yeah, four
Eh?
daughters. Yeah.
Also, when I left you, had two more. I'm sorry. I'm just
And
kidding.
you
No, I know.
just
You
didn't
were
know them
finished when
all.
I met you.
You just didn't know them
Yeah.
all. But
Yeah, I
four.
didn't know that. Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But we're all doing well, So,
Yeah.
give me an idea, give me a description of the Liberian community in Minnesota. How large is that community? And
You
the
know,
question that I'm leading to is what the status is. Our immigration policy is on the chopping block right now. Under the current
all over.
administration,
All over.
the
Every
president
demographic.
seems to be saying that he only wants certain people in this country,
Mhm.
that he wants
Mhm.
to bring people from either Europe or
Mhm.
white South Africans, and he seems to
Mhm.
be telling the world that anybody that's not white is not welcome in this country. That's how I'm reading it. How does it
Mhm.
sound to you? And I'm
Well,
just throwing these out for a general discussion. Wilfred Harris, because talk about, you mentioned how the first Liberians came here and
mhm,
how those numbers grew and how they
mhm,
were allowed to stay with TPS, temporary,
mhm.
was
The
TPS,
protection
temporary
status. Yeah,
protection
yeah,
status, but that has
yeah,
always been up and down, off
yeah,
and on, and I'm not sure what
yeah.
the status is right now. So walk us
Mhm.
through those things.
Well, Al, the thing is, when we came here, I mean, you hardly had Africans around you. But well, whenever there was some disturbance in the certain part of Africa, the people lobby, and then they got what you call the TPS and all that. Getting people from harm's way, and most of the time it was like a coup d'etat. I mean, Liberia was even not the most stable, the most one of the most stable countries in the world. Until 1980, we got it one morning, and all of a sudden, you know, and that was it. And people started looking for safe haven. And Liberia, with the relationship they have with the United States, which a lot of people don't recognize anymore. Yeah, you even heard the president asking our President Joseph Boakai, "Oh, you speak very good English. Where do you learn English?"
Mhm.
Joseph Boakai said, "Sir, I mean, so composed. I mean, a true diplomat he has." And Mr. President, I am from Liberia. I learned to speak English in Liberia, and I'm the president of that country today. And that was the only answer. Somebody called me. He used to be my boss. Somebody said, "You won't tell me, Minister Boakai couldn't say something more than that." But I told them, I say, if you know the man, Joseph Boakai, he's by birth a diplomat. And sometimes you don't fight fire with fire. When you fight fire with fire, why do you get ashes? That's not much you can do with ashes.
Mm.
Or to throw it around a plant for it to grow better. So Joseph Boakai handled it in the most diplomatic manner. And I think that anybody could have handled it. Yeah, so that's where we are. But the immigrants. I mean, that's what my company does. We look for help for immigrants. I mean,
Mhm.
if a non-immigrant needs help, we give it to them. But our primary stakeholders target as immigrants, and we've been doing a good job. We go through the churches because, like I said the other day with the church, with the leaders of those churches, I said, look, it's not by mistake that Martin Luther King went to his father's church. We should stand on the shoulders of not only the churches, but the faith-based organizations. Because at least they meet the people once a week. And during election time, for some reason, our people are so busy that they don't even want to vote. Like I said to them the other day, when I met my friend John Lewis in Atlanta, when I was in Atlanta, he put my hand on his head and he said, "What do you feel?" I said, "Your skull." He said, "That's not my skull."
Mhm.
You know, he said, "That's artificial skull." He said, "They broke my head on, I think what he
Mhm.
said, Black Sunday or something." Yes. So the people fought. Now you can go and vote when you become citizens, and they stay at home. So I said, "Well, you stay at home. Whatever they gave you, you have to accept it." But then I tell the pastors, I said, "Look, you don't have to tell the people for whom to vote, but tell them to vote." And that's my
Mhm.
mission. Yeah. So thank you so much. Al. We really appreciate you.
Mhm.
We
Talk
really.
talk about
Oh,
you. Talk about the strife at home. What happened uh, over the several administrations, um, the civil wars in Liberia that led to a lot of the displacement of people.
well, the thing is, the revolution will always eat its children. If you want to call a coup d'etat a revolution, the revolution will always eat its children. It's just like the guy who Fidel Castro took over. When they took over, he told him, he said, "I can't stay with you, my brother. I gotta go." He said, "Because it will not be long when you start being hard on the people, they will turn to me and say, you got to do something with him." He said, "Hey, we're not happy." That's how he left and he went to, I think, Bolivia. Yeah. So the same thing happened in Liberia.
Mhm.
They got together and they decided that what they call the American Liberians,
Mhm.
you know, were monopolizing the wealth of the country.
So give me
So
a
they,
time frame.
in 1980,
1980. Okay. So
1980,
prior to 1980, there'd been a fairly stable long-term government structure, right, and cultural structure.
from 1847, Liberia got independence 1847 when the whole of Africa was asleep.
Mhm.
That's why they say when freedom raised or glory from a Montserrat of Valiant Height, the Lone Star forever. Yes, since then, the Lone Star, which is the name of our flag,
Mhm.
and say we talk about a race benighted. When they say benighted in English, which means you're nothing. And the black race was benighted, or people were brought here in chains.
Mhm.
Like Royce said, I wasn't there when they brought the slave. I wasn't there when they beat my great great grandfather when he cried out for help. I wasn't there when they raped my great great grandmother. But I can feel the pain.
Mhm.
Yes, that's what happened. And people don't seem to realize that.
Mhm.
When they talk about different people who went through or how they call it, repression, depression all over Europe and all that, they forget about what Africans went through. And those things they don't only stay for a few decades, they stay for centuries.
Generations.
Yeah.
Generations.
Generations, then
Mhm.
centuries, yeah.
Mhm.
You know. So it's hard.
So
But
from 1840s up to the 1950s, fairly consistent
yeah,
um,
yeah,
cultural political
basically what
structure.
happened. The American Liberians rule. But
So,
there are
so
normal
let's break that. What is an Americo-Liberian? So people who
American
might not
Liberians
know, what's the story? What is that?
people people who came from the West.
Mhm.
Because the first group of people where I grew up, they came from Mississippi. There's a book called Mississippi in Africa, because there was a slave master who was very rich, but he started having a lot of children by his slaves.
Mm.
Then your child is your child, your children are your children. And he reached a stage where he said, well, I can't keep them here. I will send them back to where their ancestors came from. And that way, Greenville, the capital city called Greenville, because they came from Greenville, Mississippi.
Mm.
You go to Liberia right now, you got how they call it? You got a different. I mean, you got Carriage Bike. You got a whole state called Maryland, and the president who stayed there for 27 years, William V.S. Tubman, he came from uh, 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 Atlanta. He came from
Mhm.
Georgia.
Mhm.
That's why the Tubmans. Well, a lot of the people from Maryland, they name their children after the different cities in Georgia.
Mhm.
Fulton, not the county is Fulton County.
Mhm.
Beaufort, Beaufort. Yeah, so you have Beaufort Yancey, Fulton Yancey. That's
Mhm.
how much America was tied in with Liberia. In fact, there's a joke out that Thomas Jefferson, who was the first secretary, the second vice president, third president, he had his wife, his maid, Sally Hemings. She
Mhm.
had 5 children.
Mhm.
3 of those children were by him. Yes, in fact, when he made him ambassador of France, he took her.
Mhm. That's
But
right.
France did not tolerate slavery. So he
Mhm.
had to pay her as a domestic worker. But he the one that made crafted the Declaration of Independence and all that. He said, uh, all men are created equal. And that was certain inalienable right among them, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But those
Mhm.
words did not come from Thomas Jefferson. How can a slave master who had 400 slaves, because he had 400, and George Washington had 450
Mhm.
slaves, that had promoted themselves in politics, in business, and all that. The slave worked the field. And they said the blacks were lazy. But how can
Mhm.
you say the man is lazy? When he tilled the ground, he cleared the field, He planted the seeds. He harvested the crops. He cooked the food. He put on the table. And sometimes you are brave enough to say, "Come feed me." Yet instead you say you're lazy. So that's some of the things that we went through as Black people. But Black people not mad.
That's
No.
right. That's right.
No
So the Americo-Liberians are the ones who had been
went
enslaved,
back.
but they were returned. Usually,
Yes.
was it the American Colonial Society? What was it called? The
American Colonization Society, because the
Right.
first intent, there was a guy called Henry Clay. Henry Clay was from Kentucky. He was the one, if not the greatest, one of the greatest speakers of the House America ever had. And he won, he advised James Monroe. He said, it's stated in the Bible that a slave will one day rule the master. Let us see how we can get these people out of here. So they went and started the American Colonization Society. The first intent was to colonize Liberia. But there was a man that stood up, Frederick Douglass. He told him, he said, "Oh, my dead body will Liberia be colonized?" He said, "Because colonization and slavery, that's a set of twins from the same mother. That's why Liberia was not colonized." Yeah, so the same Henry Clay had a brother called Muhammad Ali. I mean, not Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. They were Muhammad Ali got that name from Cassius Clay because they were two brothers were two different people. Henry Clay used to put down the black man whenever he wanted to, because that was the order of the day those days. But Cassius Clay, his brother, he will punch your nose back into your head if you were ever to touch it or insult a black man. You say, "How much can these people take? How much more can these people take?" And because he was so loved by the black people, this woman had her child. Why did she name the child Cassius Clay? And he grew up. You see, God, the God we serve is a strategic planner, though. He planted that boy into that woman's womb, and he came up. He became the greatest fighter the world had ever seen. Yeah. So you see,
we got a comment from Anthony Scott, who's here in Twin Cities. Hey, Anthony. Anthony put his comment up, says his dad, Walter Scott Sr., I knew his dad, was the author of the Scott Collection, who was born in Greenville, Mississippi. He said, "Thanks, this is a great history, great program." And I sent Anthony
Scott from Greenville.
Yeah, from Greenville.
What's the name of Scott? What is the name of your dad?
Well, Walter Scott. His dad was Walter Scott Sr., but he's from the Greenville, Mississippi. Yeah. And
that's crazy, because I should know everybody from Greenville, literally. Walter Scott.
I have relatives from my in-laws, married people were from Greenville. You might have known Leon Rankin. Did you know him? Leon Rankin used to be the vice president of the Minneapolis Urban League. He was an electrician, but he was electrician and the civil rights. He was like a civic activist alongside Gleason Glover and Ron Edwards, all of the pioneer freedom fighters in Minnesota. Leon Rankin was from Greenville as well.
Yeah, but now, by that time, I was either in my mom's womb or my dad was trying to yeah. So that's before my time.
Pivot a second.
But the Scott family is from China. Yeah, the Scott, yeah.
I want to pivot a second to bring another guest in. I've been waiting on her. Hang on a second. Just hang on, come back. Crystal Porter is joining me real quickly. Crystal, good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Thank you for jumping on the program for a couple of minutes. How are you? You have to unmute. You're on mute, I think. I see you, but I don't hear you. Try it. Okay. It looks like you're not muted, but say something. No sound. That's the only, I'm not getting any sound. Okay, go out and come back, and then we'll see what happens. So Wilfred, we're talking about the Americo-Liberians, And I wanted to get a sense of when and how and why did the Civil War occur? Why was this great upheaval? Here's what I think. And maybe I'm wrong, but you tell me.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
My
I'm
limited
listening to
knowledge.
you.
My limited knowledge says that at some point in time, the Liberian community wanted to question the financial relationship between U.S. Industrialists, particularly the Firestones and the rubber industry, who were basically getting all of the natural resources from Liberia, but robbing the people of Liberia. The people stayed poor and they extracted the wealth. And at some point in time, the government, I'm not sure if it was the Tubmans or ones after them, said, we need to renegotiate. Y'all got to pay for this natural resource. And when they did, then the West said, we'll get rid of you and put somebody else in. Is that the wrong understanding? Tell me.
Well, the thing is, it was part of the package, a major part of the package, because Harvey Firestone, Harvey Firestone was looking for a place to plant rubber. He tried Brazil, he tried this place, Malaysia, and all that, until he got to Liberia. When he got to Liberia, literally, it's like when you put your thumb in the ground, it will grow. That's how the rubber, that how Liberian straw was so appropriate for the growth of rubber. So he came from Indiana, Gary. I think he came from Indiana. And they went out there and they got, I think it was 2 million acres. Yes, and they just started planting the rubber. And they say it was the rubber from Liberia that saved the World War II for America. Yes, because yes. And they signed a 99-year contract. And it so happened that when the 99 years were over, just what happened in Panama. You know, and the people said, well, it's about time you take your exit. And right away, there was confusion, there was trouble. And it so happened that during the same time, America turned 200. And guess who was the guest speaker? This highly educated American-Liberian. He's from Charleston, South Carolina, called William R. Talbot, the Talbot family. And he delivered a speech. He was the keynote speaker at that event. And that's his speech was, let Congress decide. And from that time, he was honored. And not only that, his son was read by his friend, who is but Kwame Nkrumah. A Dr. Benedict Tobo, highly intelligent guy. And he went on 60 Minutes and said, it's about time that Africa should unite. And I'm putting my name forward to lead Africa. And the white man should beware. And whenever you stand up like that, I tell you, you see boots on the ground. Yes.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous. We'll come back to this again. I see Crystal's here. But as you say that, I'm thinking about this one figure that's currently on the ground in Burkina Faso. And that's
you.
Traore.
Abraham Traore.
That's another conversation. We'll come back to that. Crystal, give your sound yet? Hey, Crystal. Let's see if I can hear you now. Still don't have any sound. No. Well, let me say what I was going to have you, and you can correct me. West Broadway Business Association is promoting Black Friday on West Broadway. And Crystal is the executive director, the leader of the West Broadway Business Association. And Crystal, we can do this later again. I'm sorry that we see you, and thank you for being here. But I wanted to use today's show to help you and ask you to promote West Broadway businesses and get people in Twin Cities to come by and support a wonderful group of businesses, entrepreneurs, people that I think in the spirit of this conversation between Wilfred Harris and I, people who are operating from the principle of building self-reliance, of building enterprise, building community by serving each other with integrity and with quality. So the West Broadway Business Association is presenting its, maybe you can put a flyer up. Can you share a flyer so I can give the details of it? I think you can share it. I see you talking, but we can't hear you on the radio, and we can't hear you. No audio. Yeah. Uh, our friend Michelle says greetings and gives us a thumb up and thank you. Anthony Scott, in the meantime, has said that Mr. Rankin and his grandfather, Wayne Glanton, worked together. You could put something in the chat if you wanted to, and I can just share that out of the private chat, or either in the chat. Either place would work. Yeah. So, everything works out. It's all in divine order. It still works quite well. Wilfred, we got about 5 minutes left. Let's go back to you and I talking. And when I get the information to share from West Broadway Business Association, I'll show it up. But I guess we've served good notice that this important thing is happening on West Broadway, and all of our listeners here at KFAI, social media, support Black business on West Broadway during Black Friday. And that starts a lot of major activities. It's going to be November 28th and 29th, Friday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., a number of wonderful activities, a fashion show on Friday and Saturday at the Capri Theater, I think, and just a lot of good stuff. So check us out. We'll post this on our webpage at insightnews.com and our social media. And they're also doing family Christmas pictures on both days. So you want your family Christmas photograph? Here's where to get it done at the West Broadway Black Friday, November 28th and 29th, Friday, 3 to 7, Saturday, 11 to 5. Crystal, thank you. We'll come back. Okay, we got time to do this again. And thank you so much. Okay, take care. Getting a thumbs up. And I see another friend has jumped on here. Let me see who I've got here for the last few minutes. No, I think we just got that. That was it. Wilfred, you and I can keep going.
Before you go, I wish I could get her information to help to spread it to my stakeholders. Her information to make sure that we attend and let them know what's going on, because we have to coexist.
You can put that in the chat too, Crystal, and I'll share that with Wilfred. So Wilfred's connected to the entire Liberian and West African community in Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, and we want to make sure that all of us have a chance to get together. Okay, so she says her kids are the Dunbars. You know the Dunbars?
Oh God, the Dunbars. My brother jumped in our family, and his oldest son, who's a complete computer whiz, is from Dunbar, Leroy Dunbar.
So she's nodding. So small world.
Yeah, let's hook up. At the Dunbars, my nephew put us in our family. When my dad died, in fact, his best friend, Dunbar, eulogized it. So the Dunbars are part of us, man.
We had hoped to have on our program, and he was here before we started. His technology must have failed him, but another friend of yours said he hadn't seen you in years. And
who does?
That's brother Tunde Okoya Lawal.
You told me, you call his name, and I say, look, tell me where that guy is so I can get the police to arrest him and bring him to me. I miss my brother, man.
He was supposed to be on the show with us today. And
he didn't? Okay, I will get his information from you.
He was announcing the opening of the Minnesota Yoruba for Arts and Culture. And he's having an open house ceremony on November 20th from 12 noon to 6 p.m. The address for the center is 7420 Unity Avenue North.
I will make my way there.
In Brooklyn Park. So,
I'll make my way there.
Okoya Lawal.
Well, I will get his information from you.
We still got 3 or 4 minutes before we close out, and I want to talk to you more about where our country is and what about the immigration policies right now. What is TPS status right now for Liberians, and what do you think we're facing as a community? Here's what I think. I'll do this briefly. I think that our current leader, the president, and I think that the presidency right now is a rogue enterprise. It's dangerous, right? It's a criminal enterprise at this moment. And part of its criminality is the effort to return to a condition of marginalization, suppression of Black and brown people. And they talked about the Haitians, they're rounding up Latino people just on how they look. They're rounding up Africans. At some point in time, as an American-born African, I have to believe that if push came to shove, they would try to round me up too. And my family's been here longer than theirs have. So what do you think? Where are we now, and what's going to happen from the Liberian point of view?
Well, let's face it. The people are scared. The people are scared. I tell you the truth, because part of my thing has to do with safety. And I get calls. I go to the different churches, and you hear the pastors praying for the people, that God would have mercy on them and touch the heart of the leadership of this country. This is the greatest country God ever created. And guess what happened? There might not be another one after. But I tell you this today, when the people decide, no matter what happened, my brother, Rome was there for so long. I only push and pray that people will make sure that they do what people say, my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and change from their wicked ways and seek my face. Then will I hear from heaven, forgive their sin and heal the land. Let us change from this idea of going after people, and doing what we are doing. This is a beautiful country. Let us not spoil it. If this country goes down, the world is in trouble. Yes.
But the path that the MAGA Republicans, that path is a path of destruction from my point of view. Do you agree or not?
But the thing is that basically that's where we are headed right now.
Yeah.
And you see, the thing is, you cannot say that the other people be marginalized so much. People are running scared. I'll be very candid with you. People are running scared. It's just that some people, you cannot intimidate them easily. But this thing had been going on before. Remember, Martin Luther King stood up before, and because of similar situation. And I can tell you, there will be people to stand up. And not only that, you talk about this guy in Burkina Faso, Tcwm. This guy, because of the environment the global environment we find ourselves in, this guy put together something that people even saying that he's greater than Martin Luther King. He's greater than our man from South Africa. Nelson Mandela. Yes, because this guy is putting together now a military buttressed by China, North Russia. And guess what happened?
We're out of time. Listen, brother Wilfred, thank you. Crystal, sorry I couldn't hear you, but thank you for being here.
All right. I don't know if you can
now I hear you. Crystal, now I hear you. Here we go at the last minute. So you did something. But
that's
listen,
all right.
We'll come do this again. Thank you so much. I'm Al McFarland. This is The Conversation with Al McFarland, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
May God richly bless you, Al.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the station has taken the stream back. Yeah, just trying to make sure. Hold on. Yeah, the station is checked out, so we're off the station now. So go ahead.
Oh,
good. This is good.
Ali, you don't know how much you mean to us. But Ali, we have to find a place that we can talk. Yes,
so we're still streaming. Wilfred, we're still streaming on YouTube. So let's keep talking. We're still live. This conversation is going on Facebook. Hold it, Facebook, LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Twitter. So go ahead and talk.
You see, I tell you, we have to come together, no matter what the challenges are. Africa is still the richest continent. I mean, when it comes to natural resources, not only that, human resources. You go to all the top of the line universities around. The Ghanaians, the Liberians, the Nigerians. I tell you, the Ethiopian guy took me somewhere the other day. I went in Texas, and he said, "Sir, where you from?" I said, "Liberia." He said, "I'm from Ethiopia." I said, "Oh, you know?" I said, "Where are you from? Addis?" He said, "Yes, somewhere around Addis." And we're just talking. He said, "Do you know that three, if not the best, how do you call it, astronauts they have, eh, out there? See, they are Ethiopians." So the thing is, and I heard that, I don't know how many thousand, I don't remember the number, but somebody said, I think either 23 or 43,000 professionals have left this country already. Yeah, they're taking their exit. And America was built on the shoulders of immigrants.
Mhm.
They were on the shoulders of immigrants. And when you cut that stream off, and those people redirect themselves
So
to the
look,
country.
Wolford, when you say immigrants, two things have to be said.
Mhm.
One, people don't consider Africans, at least what they call the foundational Black Americans,
Yeah.
don't consider them immigrants. We were
Mhm.
imports. We were
Import,
product.
yes.
So
Yes.
we were not immigrants. Immigration suggests
Mhm.
a voluntary showing up. So when you talk
Mhm.
about immigrants, that means all the people that were allowed to and encouraged to and invited to come, who found their way and who became colonizers of North America. But their story is different from our story. We
Mhm.
were here before most of the immigrants, and we were here
Mhm.
not by choice or by will, but by
Mhm.
maybe the will of God, right? We end up
Mhm.
being here, but we African people built
Mhm.
this country. We were
Yeah.
the wealth of this nation.
But not only that, I was telling you about Thomas Jefferson. Those words he said were not words that came from himself. How can somebody who was slave talk about all men were created equal and endowed with inalienable rights? Those it came from one of his one of his slaves.
Mm-hmm.
But the slave to him said, "Tommy, the what because some of them were friends to the slave. Said, Tommy, what you people are doing here not right though.
Mm-hmm.
God gave all of us certain right, though.
Mm-hmm.
The right to live in peace, the right to be happy. And that's why he transformed, because he was a very intelligent man, Thomas Jefferson, that all men were created equal, with certain rights. Among them, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The slave told him that, but he polished it in that way. The first man to shed blood for this country was a black man. You know that? That's Presidius. Yes, the first man. He was taking his master children to school, and the red coats were lined up, and the children started stoning the red coats with apples. And guess what happened? The commander said, "Stop." And the only thing the soldiers saw was shoot. And who you think they pointed a gun to? This black man who was carrying his master children to school. The first man to shed blood for this country was a black man. Yes. You know that syphilis were killing people in this country. You know
Mm-hmm.
who the first man to come and kill syphilis? That's one of the slaves they were bringing from Africa. He knew how to kill syphilis. And the blood bank. You know the blood bank here in Atlanta? You know who started it? Yes. So the black man has played his part in this country. No need to talk about this Tuskegee airmen. No need to talk about that. And black people fight for America with so much zeal and enthusiasm and ownership. Yes, they are ready to bleed anytime and to die. But they must also be ready to live for what they are willing to die for. Yeah. So this is a good country. It is a good country.
Well,
But now,
it's a good country, brother. Let me push back a little bit. It's a
mhm,
it's a it's a great country in
mhm,
as much as Earth is a great planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that this country is as good as the entire planet,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
people in this country are as
Mhm.
good as human beings anywhere and everywhere on the planet. But there
Mhm.
is no exception,
Mhm.
right? And it's
Mhm.
not for me a question of America being good. It's a
Mhm.
question of the planet being good, and what
Yes,
is our
being good.
duty
The,
to
the
work so
entire
that every
ecosystem. If you
human
call the
being,
planet an ecosystem. Yeah.
there we go, So
Yeah.
what I did, brother, is I just sent a note out. Usually we close the StreamYard down, but I sent a note out to the Facebook and messengers asking people to join the live stream. So somebody might join, and I'm
Mhm.
inviting anybody to join the program. I see Cornell clicked on. Cornell, if you put your camera on, love to have you in the conversation. And I sent it to just a bunch of people. So I've never
Mhm.
done a live stream like this before. Brother
Mhm.
Cornell, let me bring you in. How you doing, man? Where you at, Brother Cornell?
I'm at work actually out on 494 Design Build.
Okay.
Working for you, Al, was my very first job as a kid.
You work for me?
I delivered papers as a little boy.
Well, no kidding.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Wow. How do you see that?
Yep.
Small
Al,
world.
you were important in my life. I lived on 8th and Vincent, but I always
I
talk
know.
about you when I see your daughters, brother.
Well, all the guys,
Hey,
you 4 or 5 of you guys worked down there and did the paper, right? In your neighborhood, 8th and Vincent, right?
8th and Vincent. Yep. I jumped in the van with what was the brother's name?
Frank, was it Frank Fust?
He had a hat. He always wore a hat. And I wind up working with him at Medicine Lake Bus Lines later.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We jumped in the
So
van and
what's
delivered papers, man.
yeah, well, thank you, man. So I'm glad to check it. So
Yes.
we just finished the live show on KFAI. Brother
Oh, okay.
Harris, you've been down to Lucille's Kitchen, right? When we did the show at Lucille's
but
Kitchen, remember
Dr. Oni said it the other day.
that?
When he listened to me and he turned to his wife and he said, 3 decades ago, he was talking about this same safety and equity. You know Dr. Oni, right?
Yeah, Dr. Richard Oney. Yeah,
Richard Oni. We
sure.
talked about you the other day. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
So
Cornell,
Al,
what
you
I
have
did
done well.
after the live show went off on KFAI, I just left
Mhm.
the live stream on. So we're streaming live
Mhm.
right now to Facebook,
Mhm.
to LinkedIn, and to YouTube for
Mhm.
Inside News, and also
Mhm.
the Twitter channel for Inside News. So
Mhm.
what I'm going to do is hang out here a few minutes and ask people
Yeah,
to join the conversation, right? So
yeah. You
let's
are
see what
talking
happens.
about
Maybe we can get,
Huawei.
and if you got people that you can send this link to or send a
Mhm.
message to or a post, send it out and see
Mhm.
who we can get to come on the show while we're
Mhm.
doing this
Mhm.
live stream. Love to
Mhm.
expand the conversation. I'm going to try to
Yes,
send a
yes.
note over to brother Lawal, again, Tunde Lawal. He was supposed to be on from Nigeria. And let's see what we can
Yeah.
do in terms of conversation. Cornell, what you been doing, man? So for the past years and years, what's going on?
So
What you thinking about?
some of those work ethics that I gained from working with you and cutting your grass and doing stuff like that. I gave Minnesota Department of Transportation 33 years.
Oh man.
Wow.
And I
Oh
worked in the
man.
highway heavy as a state
Mhm.
inspector. And I September made 2 years where I resigned and became a minority business. And I'm working out here on 494 as a consultant, working for myself.
Oh man. Oh man. Well, guess who
Yeah.
just jumped?
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, man. Just
Congratulations,
working
brother.
in, thank you, brother. Working in the engineer's office with a
Uh,
GED.
Wow.
oh man. Look at you.
So,
Look at you.
Al,
Look at
I don't
you.
know. We
Look at
talked a couple
you.
times, but I'm just letting you know how important role you played in my community, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
You
that,
know,
man.
I mean, all of us said that, man. You
Yeah.
know?
Let me
Yes, I tell you, man.
look who's joined the brother Gary Hines, the master maestro. Gary, how you doing, man?
I'm blessed through it all. I'm always better when I see and hear you, my brother.
Well, what's on my mind is unstoppable.
Yes, sir. God bless you. Thank you.
the latest record by Gary and Sounds of Blackness, Unstoppable, and it really sets the stage for where we are right now in the world, I believe. Gary, what you think?
Yes, sir, my brother. Every facet of our movement, as I know you well know, has always had an anthem in the vanguard of that by artists who are conscious. And Unstoppable has been a theme forever for us, but now with the DEI rollbacks, with the snap cuts, with the layoffs, with the redistrict, gerrymandering, on and on, just a million things. A lot of people, Pastor Otis Moss in Chicago, Brother Jamal Bryant, Brother Melvin Miller here, a lot of them have been saying, yeah, folks, it's bad right now, but you know what? We've been through worse and not only survived, but we thrived. So that tells us that we are unstoppable.
Absolutely, absolutely. Gary, what's going on for Christmas for the Sounds? What you guys doing?
This year, we are not doing the night before Christmas. We're going to do that next year, but we are going to be a part of the community holiday celebration by our own brother Senator Bobby Joe Champion. That's going to be December 17th down at the Pantages Theater at 7 o'clock with many, many different artists. And so we're honored to be a part of that. The only reason we haven't in the past is, of course, we're usually doing our own Christmas show. So this year we're able to do that. And then we're looking forward to doing our third Soul Train cruise the first part of next year, and hoping that We're Unstoppable receives an NAACP Image Award nominations. Those will be announced in early January. But most immediate, and we just did a Prince tribute for the Timberwolves a couple of nights ago at the Target Center. But the next upcoming is, like I say, December 17th, Pantages Theater, the Community Holiday Music Celebration.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Do you know Wilfred Harris, Gary?
I believe we've met.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, my brother?
Gary, whether we believe or not, I beg you, let us find a way to come together and have something that, look, let's honor Al. Let's honor Al. I'll be on the battlefield too long. He's battle tested. And it's so surprising when you were talking about Unstoppable. I left and I was looking in my closet for a hat that my wife bought for me. And guess what's on the hat? Unstoppable. Now I see where that name came from. When I wear that hat, I tell you, I don't walk on the ground. I walk off the ground because I was like going and it would not stop. The wind would carry me. Wherever it carries me, I fall, I go. Because I know that's where my maker wants me to go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, unstoppable.
We are the descendants of kings and queens. So being
No,
unstoppable.
but don't only stop there. You have to finish the whole 9 yards. King, queens, and pharaohs.
Yes.
And pharaohs.
King, queens, and pharaohs. Don't stop. Don't ever stop.
You're so right, my brother.
Remember now, you are descendant of Mensa Musa, Oscar the Great, Modimo Kenyatta, and Sonny Ali. When Africa ruled the world, do you know where the name White House came from?
You have to move back from the camera a little bit, Wilfred. I've got a picture of your ear. That's it. Okay, go ahead now.
Okay. Yeah. When Africa ruled, the places where the kings had their palaces, there were nothing but white houses. And guess what the name of that place was? Casablanca. In French, we mean the White House. That's where that name White House came from. Casablanca. Yes, true story. You know? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
Wilfred, I was walking into an airport in Accra, Ghana.
Yes.
I looked around and I saw Gary Hines.
Kotoka Airport.
Kotoka, airport in Accra. And so there's Gary, and Gary was there, and the Sounds of Blackness were there with Stevie Wonder. They were leaving, They had
Oh,
just
God.
performed in Panafest 94, I think, 97. Which one was it, Gary?
Uh,
Panafest
94, 95. Yes, but I
94.
remember. Yes, sir.
And what struck me, and I associate this with Gary all the time, is that the theme of that event, Panafest is a Pan-African theater festival
Mhm.
every
Mhm.
2 years in Ghana, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's a takeoff from the festival from before, Festac, which
Yeah, first
started
back
in
in.
1977 in Nigeria, right? And so here's the backstory. In 77, two North Minneapolis guys, Terry Farrell and what's the other guy's name? I'll think of his name in a minute. They both were reporters with the Star Tribune. They found their way to Ghana, not to Ghana, but to Nigeria in 77 to witness the Festac, Festival of African Culture, and came back and wrote a story for Insight. We used a picture of something like the Makala that they took, like a cultural scene on the cover of Insight newspaper at that time, lit a fire in me about the culture, right? And it just was in my mind and in my heart. So then some years later, I have the chance to go to Ghana, thanks to our brother, Reverend Alfred Babington Johnson, Stair Step Foundation, which is organizing trips to Ghana every year, a couple of times a year. 1 year would be half a dozen elders, men, taking half a dozen young men, kids that were like maybe 18, 17, 16, young adults. And they spend a 10-day period of time learning about African culture, African society, African protocols by visiting places like Accra, like Kumasi, Cape Coast, and connect with the African stories there. So that's where I was heading into Ghana the first time. And there I see Gary Hines. And under and around Gary, I see the theme for the festival he's at, the Panafest. The theme was the re-emergence of African civilization.
Yeah.
I said, wow.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
why that's important right now, Wilfred, is because you just said, don't stop with kings and queens.
Yes.
Go back to the
Go
pharaohs,
to Pharaoh.
right? Go back to the beginning.
But
That is the reemergence of African ways of knowing. That's what I think.
Yes.
But Al, King David,
Yes, sir.
you know where he got his wife from? He got his from Ethiopia.
Okay.
King
Yep.
David, the lion of the tribe of Judah. Yes. So
Yes.
Jesus Christ lying run directly in there. Yeah. Jethro went and got his wife from there. Yeah. And that's where David came from. And who came from that line? Solomon. That's why in the Bible he said, my hair is as wool and my skin is as dark as the eye.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it. I'm not putting any other race down, but any other races, please don't put me down.
That's
because
right.
No matter what happened, wherever, look, Adolf Hitler, which you want to call him, your first man to defeat him was the runner Jesse. Yes,
that's right.
Just because before he went to the Olympics, I think it was the 1932 Olympics, they invited him to I think it was some little town in Mississippi or somewhere, and the guy gave him a face cap and put it face backwards, and he asked, he said, "Why are you doing that?" He said, "Because Jesse Owens, when you start running, let them only see the back of your head." He said, "Run as if to say you are running on hot coal. Just go, Jesse, go." And Hitler went to the stadium because he talked about the white supremacy.
That's right.
And nothing the black man could do could defeat the white man. And when they shot the gun and Jesse took off, the only thing he kept yelling to himself, "Go, Jesse, go." And the only thing they saw was the back of his head.
The back.
Yes. And I know it. When I was in Japan, I tell you, wherever the black people passed, you see the Japanese just say, "What Africa genes? Those are African."
Yes.
Well, so Gary, you
Yeah,
travel the
you know,
world.
that's cool.
Let me ask Gary to respond to that because I know Gary has a view of the planet because as an artist,
Oh yeah,
an educator, and a businessman, he's traveled the world.
wow. Gary, I gotta get your information, man. We gotta hook
Yes,
up.
sir. Yes, sir, my
I'll
brother.
I'll get it.
I'll get
I'll
it
get
to
all
you.
from out. Okay.
Please, please.
But give me your thoughts as you travel. How are we perceived or misperceived? What's the reality? Our music, in particular, and other cultural expressions go before us, and the world seems to me attempts to acquire what we create. Am I correct or am I wrong?
You are 1000%
100,
correct, my brother. You
100%.
know, in fact, we put that into a song, Sounds of Blackness, years ago. And in the lyric, the song says, everybody want to sing my blues. Nobody want to live my blues.
Mm.
And so
I like
all
that.
over the world, yes, all over the world, wherever we've been blessed to go, my brother.
Yeah.
In the words
Mhm.
of one of the fathers of the Harlem Renaissance, brother Alain
Mhm.
Locke, all over the world we find that we are, and of course right here in the U.S. more than anywhere. He said, Alain Locke said, we are. It's such a mystery that we are uh, culturally admired and revered, but politically despised.
Mm.
Yes, and
But
now that's
I'll
I'm paraphrasing, but that's Elaine Locke, and he did that wisdom.
yeah,
So we have found that, to answer your question, my brother. We have found that to be the case around the world, where
yes,
our music and shout out, kind
yeah,
of a side note, but it's part of the answer to the question. A shout out to our dear beloved brother, in his memory and his legacy, Don Cornelius of Soul Train, because Soul
yeah,
Train, you could, to this day, around the world, influence people trying to
yeah,
dance,
yes,
dress, sing,
yeah,
play,
yeah,
talk
yeah.
like
Do
us.
everything.
Everything. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. But I was just about to tell you about Africa. If you look at, have you ever looked at the shape of Africa on the globe? What
Yes.
does Africa look like? Africa.
It was-
If you
yes.
hold Africa,
You-
Africa look like a revolver. You realize
oh,
that? Ghana is the
okay.
bout of the revolver. Liberia
Mm.
is the trigger. South
Okay.
Africa is the nozzle. And you look at Africa again, you turn it upside down. What does it look like? It looks like a question mark. That's what
Mm.
they say. Africa is shaped like a question mark, but Africa has
Yes.
the answer. Africa is shaped
Yes.
like a revolver, but that doesn't mean to say Africa must always fight wars
Yes.
among ourselves. That revolver should be pointed in the
Yes.
opposite direction of Africa because you are your brother's keepers.
Yes,
Mhm.
Yeah,
sir, my brother.
Africa is shaped like a question mark. Africa is shaped like a revolver. Yes, yes, that's how Africa look. I
Yes,
didn't treat
sir.
Africa like that. Nature made Africa like that.
How
Yeah.
about that?
Mhm.
Well, because
Yeah.
Africa is the cradle of civilization, the birthplace of
It is.
humanity, the
Yes.
birthplace of science and math and
Yeah.
architecture,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
astrology,
But
astronomy,
but my brother,
yes,
we are talking about Africa and facing the white man. What's about
yes,
African Americans and Africans and people who came directly from the continent, like a guy like myself? You
Mhm.
know, yeah, when I met Al, the first thing I did, I stretched out and hugged the guy. He looked at me like, who's this criminal? But he looked at me like, I can't believe this guy seeing me for the first time hugging each other like this. But it's something in physics they talk about exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction.
yes,
When you
yes,
meet your brother, there is this endothermic reaction. First of all, you get an exothermic, which enable you to go towards the guy. But when you get to him, it becomes endothermic. My brother, am I
preach.
crazy or am I just
No,
losing it?
no, no. You're preaching, brother. And yeah, and we love and admire and respect greatly, dear brother Al. I mean, he
Oh
is
man.
a griot and a mentor, a friend and a brother and a father to this community and beyond. You know, across the
Yes.
nation, around the world. So, brother, this is a chance to give you those props
Oh
publicly
no, well done. Well,
I apologize, man. I've got another appointment, but I saw you. I've got to have to run to, but I saw
I'm
your
glad you
message,
jumped on,
and
man.
I at least wanted to, yes, we always give you
yes,
that respect, brother.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
and in the words of Duke Ellington, we love you madly.
All right. Thank you, Brother Gary. Thank
All
you.
right, take care, my brothers. God
Thank
bless
you.
now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
before we close, let me do this. I want to share this with you. Yeah, I talked to you about this before, but I'll share it to you now. You have the screen showing up now? Yeah. This is a website called Nubia, a narrative. Are you seeing the screen or not? Hold on. I'm trying to do a share screen. And thanks to Brother Cornell, this is it here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to see that?
Mm-hmm.
I encourage people to check out this online community called Nubia.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought of that because you mentioned, the pharaohs, right? And this is a
Mm-hmm.
place where we look at Africana knowledge and we look at African ways of knowing. And one of the things that you can do in this channel is study hieroglyphics. So
Mm-hmm.
this course here, hold it, I'll come back to it. Medu Necher is a course on hieroglyphics. And
The Asian writing, yeah.
yeah, it's really cool. And outside of that, this general discussion about Africana studies, Dr. Greg Carr, great program. So people who check this out should go check out Narrative. This is called Narrative with a K, or the word Nubia with a K, Knubia. A lot of great stuff. Well, brother, look, I'm going to close this out now because we've had a good conversation. Good
Yeah.
time visiting with you. Thank you so much.
Oh,
And
thank you, Al. Thank you, Al. When you get off, I'll call you.
okay, all right.
Okay,
Well,
sir. You take it easy. May God richly bless you, sir.
all right.
Bye
Thank
bye,
you.
goodbye,
Bye-bye.
my brother.
We'll see you.
All right, sir.
All
Take it
right.
easy, Al.
So we'll close this up right now, and we'll see you all later. I'm Al McFarland. Take care. Bye-bye.